Hey! Hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. And yes, it is indeed another Spacelords video. Last time I talked about this game a couple months ago, I brought up how the game had a bright future ahead of it, and how the devs were listening to the community and implementing community feedback. And well, goddamn, did Mercury Steam come through. Spacelords, in its current state, I can easily, without a shadow of a doubt, recommend as one of the best free-to-play games out on the market right now, right next to Warframe. The quality, the production value, the amount of content? Seeing as how the game is free-to-play, you'd be crazy not to give it a try. That being said, for the sake of being fair and balanced, the game is not perfect. It does have issues, but the developers, Mercury Steam, obviously take these issues and concerns to heart. And while I will address some of these issues later on, I want to take the time to really showcase and spotlight all the great work the devs have done to improve the game. Starting with the progression system and grind. One of the biggest turnoffs for early adopters of the game. But Spacelords, now, in the present, you are now flooded with rewards for simply playing the game. So in this game, you're chasing after experience to level up your profile, and two currencies, gold and faction points. You now earned experience, gold, and faction points for simply playing missions, winning missions, getting accumulated daily rewards from quick play, getting accumulated monthly rewards from all your accumulated high scores on completed missions, and on top of all of that, getting a nice chunk of gold every time you level up. Spacelords is now an immensely rewarding game. You are now showered in rewards for just playing the game. You'll be able to unlock new characters to play as, and build new weapons to play with in no time. I urge all of you who gave up on playing Spacelords because of its progression system and grind to give it another try. It has come a long way. It has made some serious improvements, and I'm ever so grateful and happy that Mercury Steam really did listen to the community. Up next, we now have a proper in-game store for cosmetic goodies if you want to support the developers and customize your characters even further. We got a bunch of awesome new skins, new melee weapons, emotes, which includes a lot of dance moves, and brand new weapon skins. And I have to admit, some of these weapon skins, really high quality stuff. Most of these aren't some shitty low effort paint job that you see in other games. They got genuinely unique textures and special effects. It's really good looking, really cool stuff. So now we have more content and options in the game to personalize and customize your character and weapons, and a much more easier and open way to support the game and its developers. For me personally, however, I am still a bit about some of the prices. If I were in charge, I would personally price some of these a bit differently, but hey, what do I know? I'm not a video game developer, and the folks over at Mercury Steam need to put food on the table, so that's that. Up next, gameplay improvements and changes. Unfortunately, for some of this, you're gonna have to take my word for it, but believe me when I say, the game just feels better to play. Gunplay and melee have been tightened up, a lot of the jankiness and clunkiness appears to have been smoothed out, maneuvering around the environment and movement in general just feels so much smoother and better and more responsive. Again, it's hard for me to actually prove this. You'll have to play the game to see what I mean. I guess to give an example, the game in terms of feeling and fluid controls feels a lot more now like Warframe than old school Resident Evil. If that makes any sense, I hope it does. And also, one of my biggest personal fucking gripes with the game has been addressed. The fucking sticky lock-on melee grab move, mostly from the elite enemies. I've noticed now in all of my recent games that melee grabs from elites are much easier to dodge and just maneuver out of. For me at least, now every time I get melee grabbed by elite enemies in-game, it feels like it's my fault because I could have avoided that, and not, oh, that was a bullshit death, there's nothing I could have done. But the biggest, most important change to gameplay is now how Aleph works. For the newbies that are unaware, Aleph is an in-game resource that's used to buff up your character stats and complete objectives. Aleph is an integral part of the game, and it has been changed in a new way. Instead of it being automatically transferred through melee kills, it is now an in-game item collectible pickup in the form of a glowing crystal that now drops after killing an enemy or a player in melee. But on top of that, these new Aleph crystals, you can now choose to drop and let your teammates pick up, essentially transferring and sharing Aleph, which allows for more teamwork and and team dynamics. But even more interestingly, these new Aleph crystals can also be used as proximity mines. If you shoot Aleph crystals with your weapon, they become volatile and explode after a few seconds, allowing you to easily kill large groups of enemies. These new changes to Aleph add so much more mechanical depth, making matches all the more interesting and exciting. So as I hope you can see, Spacelords has come a long way, and Mercury Steam have really done a great job here. But, because there's always a but, as much as I love the game, as much as I love the developers, and despite how much Spacelords has improved, and it is going to keep improving, make no mistake, I have no doubt that Mercury Steam is only going to keep making the game better and better and continue to listen to community feedback, which is why, in this video, I have to address some issues with the game and direct them to the devs, which I have no doubt they will tackle. So first off, Mercury Steam, I know you're probably sick and tired of hearing about this, but matchmaking, the long matchmaking times are still one of the #1 complaints from the community and from new players. Don't get me wrong, you've taken great strides to addressing this issue. The Cortez Brother bots to deal with disconnects. The new quick play daily rewards, that certainly speeds up matchmaking time, no doubt. But if we're being realistic here and brutally honest, as long as the player numbers are where they are, we are going to keep encountering matchmaking issues and long wait times unless players are allowed to start matches solo or in duos. Forcing the mandate of the full 4-player squad group is unfortunately going to continue creating long matchmaking times. Now, of course, if you have a full group of friends to play Spacelords with, matchmaking will never be an issue for you. But for the new players who have yet to unlock all of the missions, oof, it's gonna be rough and leave them with a sour first impression. Speaking of which, that leads us into the new player experience. Now, Spacelords, I would argue, is an objectively good game. Very creative and unique, very fun and engaging to play. So many cool and versatile and dynamic characters, abilities, and weapons to play with a great variety of visuals and level design from all of the missions. But I have this positive perception of Spacelords because I have everything unlocked. I have all the characters, I have almost all the weapons, I have all the missions unlocked. But for a new player, right now, just jumping in, that has no clue what they're getting into, how everything works, it's fucking rough. Don't get me wrong, Mercury Steam. The quick guides you have available in-game are excellent. The links to your YouTube tutorial videos are great. And for a perceptive, intelligent gamer, they will spot these things and read and watch these things. But let's be honest here, most gamers aren't that perceptive, and some aren't that intelligent. They require hand-holding through such methods as a basic gameplay tutorial. What I'm trying to get at here, Mercury Steam, is please, for the love of all that is holy, please add back in the tutorial. Back when the game was the pay-to-play Raiders of the Broken Planet, before you rebranded as the free-to-play Spacelords, you had a single-player tutorial where you played as Herrick, and you went through the gameplay basics of movement, cover, the Aleph stress meter, and melee combat. Essential tools and knowledge that new players need to learn and know. The opening single-player tutorial was an excellent stepping stone for preparing new players and getting them ready to jump into multiplayer. Please, Mercury Steam, add that tutorial back in. Just let me know what I gotta do to get you guys to add that tutorial back in for the new players. Do I have to get on my hands and knees and pray to you and praise you as my one true Lord and Savior? Empty my bank account and buy all the cosmetic skins in your store? What about doing exclusive striptease for you all on Pornhub? Just tell me, please. I'll do anything to get you guys to add that single-player tutorial mission back in the game. For the sake of the new players, for the sake of the newbies, please. Give them this. Because here's the thing, Spacelords is at the precipice of transforming from a good game with some issues holding it back to a great game that can easily be recommended and everyone should play it and give it a try. I mean, I have a positive bias towards the game, so I'm going to tell everybody to play it and give it a try no matter what, but still, like I said months ago, I am still beyond hopeful for the future of Spacelords. The developers have already proven to me without a shadow of a doubt that they care about the thoughts, feelings, and opinions of the community, and they are willing to make changes and additions for the sake of the game, the community, and themselves. I mean, there's still so much great stuff on the horizon for Spacelords, like new features and content such as antagonists being able to control AI enemies, more feature-rich and in-depth weapon customization, and more additions to clans, guilds, and PvP in general. Spacelords is still just such a unique beast, a one-of-a-kind game. Just an explosion of color, creativity, character, personality. And speaking of all that, we're actually getting a brand new raider, a brand new playable character on July 16th, Suma, played by actress Stephanie Houston, aka Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5. Needless to say, pretty exciting. New characters always add new gameplay variety and change up the meta. Very excited and very interested to see how Suma plays. So to wrap this video up, if you've played Spacelords but gave up on it, maybe come back in, give it another try, give it another chance, and see if you like the changes. If you're a new player who's never played Spacelords before, I'd still recommend giving it a chance. Just be aware that the new player experience is gonna be a bit rough. Read the quick guides and watch the YouTube tutorials. And for the Spacelords veterans out there like myself, what do you think of all the new additions and changes made to Spacelords? Are you excited for all the upcoming content and features? Let me know. And a big shout out and thank you once again to the devs over at Mercury Steam. Thank you for implementing community feedback, thank you for being so active, and thank you for giving me this wonderful game to play and enjoy. I look forward to all the new surprises you guys and gals have in the works, and I look forward to making more Spacelords videos in the near future. That has been a video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button. Hit the like button up too. Helps me, helps everyone involved in the video. If you hit the like button, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Everyone comment in the comments, please leave a comment. What are your thoughts, feelings, opinions on the topic of this video? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you want to help out and support this video, then please share it on social media, Twitter and Facebook. If you want to help out and support me directly, well, there's always Patreon. Anyways, guys, that has been a video, and I'll see you all later.